Hello and welcome to the History of Stargate Universe. Today's episode, 2nd Lieutenant Vanessa James. And here we go. Vanessa James is a 2nd Lieutenant in the United States Air Force, who is stationed at Icarus Base. She is a member of the team sent and later trapped aboard the ancient vessel Destiny. Vanessa James was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, around the year 1983, and had joined the United States Air Force prior to 2009. In her time in the Air Force, Vanessa became part of the Special Forces and once served in Iraq, choosing instead an assignment at Icarus Base instead of going back. She was in a relationship with fellow officer 1st Lieutenant Matthew Scott, though they poorly attempted to conceal it. 2009. When the George Hammond arrived at the Icarus Base with California Senator Alan Armstrong and civilian Eli Wallace concerning the Icarus project, that night, Vanessa, along with around 80 other people, were forced to abandon the base after it was attacked by the Lucine Alliance, and arrived at Destiny, several billion light years from Earth. After arriving, she and the other soldiers searched the ship for problems relating to the life support system. After they found a planet to help the situation, she was sent there when Scott was lost in order to search for him. She was one of several people who recorded a message on a Kino in case the Kino would be found one day. She felt that the majority of the crew weren't being kept in the loop on the situation. She was part of the group that brought Eli Wallace in. If he knew anything, Dr. Nicholas Rush and Colonel Everett Young were thinking on the way to return home. After he claimed he didn't know anything, Vanessa appointed a reluctant Eli as their inside man to inform them of any developments as soon as he found anything. Sometime after the ship lost power, she accused Eli and Sergeant Hunter Riley of spying on her while she slept, after she found the flying Kino in the corridor when she left her quarters, though Eli claimed he went the wrong way. Her name was one of the 15 hand-picked in a lottery to evacuate Destiny to the remaining ancient shuttle, to one of the 3 potentially habitable worlds, when Destiny was on an unalterable course to a red dwarf star. While the shuttle was en route to the planet, she was first to wish Riley a happy birthday. Upon discovering Destiny flew to the sun to recharge, the shuttle and James were brought back to Destiny before it jumped back to FTL. Sometime after, she caught Lieutenant Matthew Scott making out with Chloe Armstrong, when he didn't respond to Colonel Everett Young's radio calls. After finding out, she seemed somewhat bitter about her finding. She later informed Chloe of Scott's being trapped in a crevasse, despite the expedition members being ordered to stay in their quarters. She was one of 4 persons in a reconnaissance party sent to the Gravel Pit planet, which found an alien spacecraft. She was later the first person to witness the arrival of a Chappa'ai mothership, and played her part in saving 2 personnel from electrical overloads in Destiny's corridors. She tried with some military personnel to free Lieutenant Matthew Scott, Eli Wallace, Chloe Armstrong, and Master Sergeant Ronald Greer, after they had been trapped on an alien tunnel system in the Ruins planet. She tried, but had to return to Destiny before it jumped back to FTL. One day later, she was in her quarters talking to Lieutenant Tamara Johannesson about the lost team, and she knew about TJ's pregnancy, and that Colonel Everett Young is the father. She and some other soldiers were off-world, searching for Lieutenant Matthew Scott's team. They were able to find Master Sergeant Ronald Greer and return to Destiny with him. A day later, after one of Destiny's FTL engines needed to be upgraded in order to make it to the next galaxy, James volunteered to switch with Dr. Amanda Perry so she could accomplish the task. James is unable to stand being in Perry's quadriplegic body, and had the connection severed, accidentally knocking her long-range communication stone off the console without clearing her imprint with no one noticing. Later, a Nakai takes advantage of this and switches bodies with her to sabotage Destiny, which she later thinks is a bad dream until Chloe Armstrong helps her realize the truth. Vanessa ends up spending most of the time Destiny is stranded taking care of Dr. Franklin, and lets Colonel Everett Young know that he wants to be the one to sit in the Destiny interface chair, and convinces Young to do it before going to join her defensive team during the Nakai attack in the Void. Thanks to Franklin, Destiny makes it to FTL without ever being boarded. She went to an unnamed planet in the new galaxy and got affected by an alien tick. She had hallucinations about Lieutenant Matthew Scott and then killing him. Lieutenant Tamara Johannesson cured her by removing the bug. During the Lucian Alliance invasion of Destiny, she was sent to an unnamed planet with the rest of Destiny's expedition. Once there, she found a system of caves for them to take shelter in during a storm. After a short time, she and Colonel Everett Young went to check on Vero and the other Alliance members in a nearby cave. As she was standing guard at the entrance, a bolt of lightning struck next to the cave wall. She was thrown backwards by the force, but sustained only minor injuries. Shortly after her return to Destiny, she was part of a team that was sent to an unnamed planet in an ancient shuttle to replenish the food and water supply. During re-entry, the shuttle lost power and crashed on the planet. After Scott and the rest of the team unburied the Stargate, she returned to Destiny. When Gin was found murdered, she used the long-range communication device to check on Amanda Perry. She returned and confirmed Perry was dead, and that Gin had told Homeworld Command critical information about the planned attack on Earth. Later, she was part of a team that traveled to an unnamed planet to hunt for the Lucian Alliance member Simeon. She was paired with Taurus and Weber. She suffered a minor head wound by an explosive device that Simeon detonated. Much later, she entered a stasis pod for the trip to the next galaxy. Hey, thank you for watching the History of Stargate Universe. Special thanks to the Stargate Wiki for all information you heard today, and very special thanks to Royalty Free Tube for this fantastic background. Have a great day. Bye-bye.